Meet Codename Goose, your on-machine open-source AI agent, built to automate your tasks. Codename Goose is an intelligent and autonomous agent capable of handling complex tasks thanks to its core features. Connect with apps and tools you already use with extensions. Built on the Model Context Protocol, you can connect to extensions like GitHub, integrate JetBrains IDEs, access Google Drive, or build your own custom integrations for Goose. For a curated list of extensions, visit our docs. With a wide range of compatible large language model providers, you can choose and integrate your preferred model. You can also run Goose as a desktop app or through the command line interface using the same configurations across both. You can think of Goose as an assistant, ready to take your instructions and do the work for you. Able to handle a wide range of tasks across various engineering domains. Here are examples of tasks Goose has helped people with already. Goose has helped dive into a new project in an unfamiliar coding language, conduct code migrations such as Ember to React or Ruby to Kotlin, increase code coverage, and even generate unit tests for a feature, and much more. To get started using Goose right away, check out our Quick Start and be the first to know about upcoming features by joining our community.
Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. You're watching The Great Goose Off. If you didn't catch the intro, Goose is an open source AI agent. What makes it unique, in addition to it being open source, is that it's local to your machine and it extends to its capabilities to different MCP servers. So for today's Goose Off, I'm really excited because they just told me that they were like big fans of the Goose. Well, I'm putting words into their mouth, but they said that they watched almost every episode. That's exciting to me. But the topic for today's Goose Off is, can a manager really out-goose their own teammate? We're gonna watch Darron and John flex their localization skills in what we're doing as a vibe coding face-off. So I'm gonna bring them on stage. Hey y'all, how you doing?
Doing well.
Good. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. And I'll also say hi to people in the chat. So hi, Best Codes and Tanya, and Aaron is wishing y'all good wishes. He said, may the best goose win. I normally ask people this in the beginning. How are y'all feeling? As we're starting, as we've gone live. And it's okay if you're feeling competitive or nervous or excited, whatever it is.
I practiced what I do before an interview. I did 15 push-ups, 30 burpees, and meditated for 30 seconds.
I'm dead. What about you, Darron? You have a routine?
Far less active. No, I'm super excited to be here. I'm very honored to be in the same room with John Ferm, who is he's quite a goose enthusiast. So we'll see how this goes.
Awesome. Okay, wait. I have a question, John. What made you? I know it sounds like what Darron's saying is you're a goose enthusiast, but what made you be like, I'm gonna challenge my manager to this? Because I don't know. I'm a little nervous if I challenge my manager. You're like confident in your skills, like.
I don't really see it as like a competition. I see it as like we lift each other up and like, hey, if I can do this, you can do this, and as a result we make everyone else better.
Oh, I love that spirit. I should have made that be the description. Franklin is rooting for you. I'm rooting for you both. I like this idea of it being rising people up. Okay, so before we really dive in, I just have one additional question. Goose is often used by developers. I'm curious why use Goose for you all, or what task you may have used it for, even if it was just for fun or if it was for like a business need.
John, can I jump in first on this one? I suspect you're going to have something more impressive to say than I am, so I'll go first. Obviously, there are a lot of implications to documentation, right? You write up a prompt and it can just help you flesh out a whole host of document types. And one of the things that I used it for, which I found useful and interesting and not perfect, was leveraging information about two separate languages, one of which had a style guide. A style guide has branding and terms and different sort of guide rails for how the language should be used, and trying to transfer those same principles over to an unknown language, right? One that didn't have a style guide. And that produced some very interesting things, some of which were super helpful and some of which were, frankly, kind of garbage. And so we had to weed through it and sift through, and there still was a requirement to have somebody with some specialized knowledge go through it. But it created a nice template for us and enabled us to sort of more quickly adapt for a new language, which was cool.
I love that. Yeah. And I forgot that reminded me to mention that you all do localization and globalization. You're the head of globalization and then you're localization lead. I think I got it right, John. Okay. But that's really cool that Goose has been able to help you in that way. What about you, John?
Yes, I work in program management, and there's always a lot of twists and turns in our ever-changing landscape here. So when I teach Goose about who I am and what I do, how our company operates, and constantly feed it new information about work changes and whatnot, it really helps me structure, and it helps me make sense out of the chaos. It can sometimes be a little bit chaotic, and right now I'm working on product roadmaps and synthesizing them into what is it going to mean for localization, what is all these items and the priorities, and there's a ton of information, and Goose is really good at helping me make sense of that and then visualizing it for the broader team.
Interesting. I love to see it. I love to see how people are using it differently. Okay, we're going to get into the challenges. The first one is a scrimmage, so there's no winner or loser. It's just to get your feet wet, to get you excited. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to have 8 minutes to recreate the game Red Light, Green Light. Are you all familiar with that game? Yeah. Okay, let me check. I didn't see if John added it. You are familiar?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I didn't want to throw you all into the deep end. Okay, and you can make it simple, funny, spooky, dramatic, whatever you want. The only rule is that there must be a character that moves or some type of thing that moves and can get caught and win. Okay, does that make sense? Awesome. And don't worry, there is a localization twist in the end and all that. All right, so I'm going to go over to maybe John first, and then I'll move on to Darren. I'm starting the clock now.
All right. So I started with ChatGPT here and asked, hey, do you know about the Goose Off? And it does.
What?
And then I said, I'm going to be on it, so I might ask you for some help. So here we go. So we're going to make a web app game based off of Red Light, Green Light from Squid Games, and we're going to make it into a version that is funny, perhaps goofy, spooky, and it's going to be, it needs to work as a web app. Can you put together a plan for my Goose agent to execute that?
This is so interesting. Oh, I might be messing it up.
So
Interesting. Okay, so I've never. This is so interesting that I see that you use ChatGPT and Goose. I'm actually curious. Why do you use ChatGPT? Like, just this is a cool method, I guess.
So I think it helps me think outside of the box, and then when I do it, so here's the battle plan.
Okay.
Set up Goose, agent recipe, step-by-step prompts, and this might have been a little bit too much.
That's okay.
And let's see here, why Goose is perfect for this. So, if I just take this, so now I have, like, ChatGPT knows what I'm doing, and if Goose gets off the rails, I can go back to this, and then I have like a bit of a project plan here.
Okay, so
Sometimes
you
it just
don't.
hits the like nail on the head with a one-shot prompt or 2 or 3 prompts, but I think it's good to have a plan in the background.
Okay, that's interesting. I think we've seen people do planning in so many different ways. I know when Alex came on, he used like the plan feature within Goose, but it's so cool to see you use ChatGPT and Goose side by side. I guess sometimes I do that, and I'm not sure why. Max did point out for any viewers that we have voice mode in Goose now.
Yeah.
And
And sometimes I use two Goose windows,
yes.
and I use like 2 different models, perhaps like Gemini and Claude, and then I think of like one of them as the TPM and the other one is the engineer. So like,
Ooh, I like that. I didn't.
let's see. All right. Let's get a quick proof of concept going.
Cool. And while you're doing this, I'm gonna move over to Darren and see how it's going for him. I seen your head spin around, Darren. You're like, oh, she's coming. Ready or not.
So, yeah, let me just kind of walk you through what I did. Basically, the prompt that I put in here is captured right here in black, but using HTML, CSS, and JS, create a web game called Red Light, Green Light. Here are the rules. And I just went and got the rules online, And there were a couple that were misses. They were sort of asking for things in terms of meters and, like probably a little bit not what we wanted, more like a field game than the game that I've tried to create here with Goose's help. But found this one seemed simple enough. So I ran it here through Goose, and it created an HTML file for me, some styling, and then some scripting. And then it tells me, right, like, here's the game interface, here are the mechanics and the visual elements. If you want to just open this in a web browser, you'll be able to play. Now, this is the first attempt.
Okay.
And I can move forward while that's green, and you saw it move backwards when it was red.
Oh.
And it really moves slowly. So I'm probably going to try to get that to move in.
Right. It doesn't want you to win.
What's that?
I said it doesn't want you to win.
No, it doesn't. This is on the most difficult setting, I guess. So I'll mess around with it a little bit more to try to get it to be a little bit more, a little easier to play, but also perhaps a little prettier.
Yeah. No, this is a great start. Let's move back over to John while you do that part.
Great.
We're back.
Goose is hard at work writing the files here. Just working on some style sheets.
Nice. We're almost at the JavaScript then, I assume.
Yeah. So let's see.
What are your? Oh, go ahead. What are you imagining this to look like? Like, how are you hoping it comes out?
I am kind of thinking it's gonna be a little Halloween theme, perhaps, and a figure. Yeah, here we go. Let's see it. Use arrow keys or WASD to move. Freeze when the monster says red light. Press space to start. So let's see. I can move. Red light, freeze.
This looks cute.
I'm not really sure who I
It's not
am.
moving.
WASD. I'm not sure it's working. Use arrow keys. Freeze when the monster says red light. Okay, it's red light now.
Yeah, when does it go to green light?
I think I am the wizard.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, let's refresh it and see. Press space to start. Okay. Ready. Get ready.
Okay, now you can move. Oh, it's moving. It's moving slow.
Gotcha. You moved. All right. Pause. Two lives left. I made it for 4 meters. Yeah.
This was cute. I like it.
I think like looking back now, maybe like going to ChatGPT first and then not really like following that plan. Maybe that was just a waste of time.
No, I mean, you never know. This is like a timed game, so it's not like your regular workflow. But I often like have multiple Goose sessions, or I'll ask ChatGPT because I want to see its opinion. Right? How will you go about this? Oh, the timer is up, so let's go ahead and see both Darren's and John. So we have your final output, John, where you did the Halloween themed. I think it was really cute. Darron, are you ready to show us what your final output was?
It looks very much the same, except now red light and green light are flashing madly. Not sure why it did that. I did ask it to increase the movement 50% larger, so we do get more movement if you saw that.
Yeah,
getting it on the red, but it does move significantly farther now, which is great. But something caused the red light, green light to be flashing inhumanly fast. Yeah.
Goose really doesn't want you to win. First you were going too slow and you're like, I want to go faster. And then Goose was like, well, if you want to go faster, I'm going to make green be so quick. Okay. So this was how do you guys feel? Do you guys feel like this was a good way to get your feet wet? Okay, cool.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get into the challenges where people could vote in the comments. I used to do voting on a QR code, but I want to see the comments. I just like the interaction. All right. So what you're going to do, you're going to build up upon this red light, green light game. I hope this makes sense when I say it, but basically your red light, green light game is going global, but kids everywhere don't play red light, green light the same way. So for example, I learned that in Nigeria, kids play like what's in the garden and they freeze after the other person yells making stew. So I want you all to localize your game for 3 different cultures. You can either choose the cultures or like Goose do it and like change the words and the flow and all of that to match these different cultures. Does that sound clear before I say start? Or you have any questions? Okay, cool. All right, and I'll give you 8 minutes for this one too. Starting now. And I'll go to Darron, I guess.
No. Sorry. I'm really thinking about this. Really thinking about how to make this happen. I mean, let's just test the bounds of Goose.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, let Goose make it happen.
We do create a similar web game to red light, green light, except adapt it for Russian language and culture.
Ooh.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah, you never know. Goose might surprise you.
It was able to make a style guide in Chinese, so why not, right?
Right. Sometimes it does the greatest things. The less you know, the better. That's what I feel like.
I'm in a good place then.
Let's see the comments. Somebody asked, will there be any goose offs focused on workflows that have some demonstrable value for production billable workflows? I think we can definitely go for that. I haven't planned any, but we can definitely go for that. Tell me in the chat like any thoughts or ideas you have around that, because I don't know what billable workflows means, to be honest. But I was thinking of like doing a goose off for recipes and stuff like that. Okay, and wow, I didn't know there was different like green light in different cultures. And someone said, how can I make Goose run flows without prompts autonomously? So are you saying you want it to, can you clarify how can you make Goose work without you prompting it? Let me know if that's what you meant. Okay, while you do that, Darren, I'm going to go check in on John. Hey John, so what you thinking?
So what did I prompt Goose? I prompted Goose to, hey, we'll need to add a layer of localization. The rules are different in various countries. Let's add flags at the beginning for Sweden, Germany, and Japan, and then have the game be localized for those countries and their rules. And Goose loves the idea and has started coding. And then I did it backwards this time, and I said, hey, we're gonna do this localization, and here is how ChatGPT would go about it. And so I know if I give it these exact prompts, the exact conditions, it gets at it a little bit quicker. That's kind of why I have started to try to understand Python better, so I can guide Goose a lot better if I have better knowledge of coding. But it does fairly well. But like Goose, I see it does it tries the quickest route most of the time, and it takes shortcuts, and it does a lot of trial and error to get to the result that it needs to do.
Yeah.
So,
that's very observant, I think. I think it's like you're at an advantage and disadvantage when you don't know about code as much, because I think when you don't know about code as much, you're able to push Goose beyond like push it to its limits, right? And
I think it really depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
like if you're trying to build applications, for sure. If you're just trying to synthesize information and make sense of docs and build dashboards, I don't think you need all that much coding knowledge. But if you're trying to make applications that are integrating with existing workflows or existing tools, then for sure. You're muted. Oh no. So we can't hear you, or I can't hear you.
Maybe still can't hear me? Hello?
Now I can.
Okay. Sorry, I'm getting used to this new mic. I need to stop tapping it. But basically, someone in the chat, I was saying, yes, I agree with you. That was a good observation. And then someone in the chat was saying, can you use Goose to have like a predetermined workflow? Let's say you need to create a contract from a meeting call. You can with what we call recipes, where basically you can have like, it's kind of like a mini agent of Goose that has all the context and the tools and everything that you'll need. And then you can also run it on a schedule if you wanted to, and say like every day, go ahead and collect these meeting notes or something like that for me. Okay, let's see what you created so far, John.
So it did create kind of like you get to choose your country here, if different rules and traditions. So for Sweden, it's saying extra life for fairness, longer green lights, and some warning sounds. And for Germany, it's very precise, strict movement detection, engineering precision.
Okay.
And then for Japan, it's going with the Daruma doll. Let's see. I don't see the Daruma doll, but I see a ninja, and I see the king and queen, perhaps.
Oh, I thought that was their
The game itself, it has some Japanese here, and let's see, there's no, and then I can't really understand what it says, but just press the forward button here when it goes.
Oh, because it's red. That's why you can't move forward.
Oh, it's red. Okay.
It's green. Let me go check on
Change country here and go back. So, and then in Germany, it's all about engineering and precision. I don't know if I really got the task as I had anticipated it.
That's cute though. I think you still have more time. I'm going to visit Darron.
Yeah, cool.
To see what he's working on. All right, let's see.
Okay, so I've got a bunch of weird stuff going on here.
Oh wow!
Some of it looks really promising. Some of it looks a little janky, but like we'll get there in the end.
Yeah.
So the original looks exactly like this, and then this. My Russian is really bad, and my understanding of Russian culture is even worse, right? But I can tell you a few things here. So I asked Goose. Here's the prompt. Nope, that was the second thing I asked for, and it didn't do it. Create a similar web game to Red Light, Green Light, except adapt it for Russian language and culture. So then it gave me this, right? Which I'm gonna slaughter this, sorry, but it says Moре волнуется раз, right? So it's like, I don't know, the sea is sick.
Oh.
And then it starts counting, right? And you can see that here. It's like, okay, it's so hard to read because it's going so fast, but it's like the sea is sick, 1, 2, 3. And then if you try to move while it's right after it counts, then it pushes you back.
Interesting.
So I had asked Goose, hey, could you actually visualize the red light and the green light so I know when to move? And it did nothing, presumably because it's actually this text, right? It's not about a light. It's about the sea and whether you're sick on sea or not.
Yeah, maybe they do that in Russia. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to ask somebody who knows better than I do.
Right. Okay, the time is up. Let's bring you guys to the stage. I think what both of you all made was pretty cool. John, did any changes? Let me switch out. Did any changes happen since, or have you prompted it to do?
Yeah, I started refactoring it into React and TypeScript. So now it's just spinning out of control here, and it might be amazing, but it might also not.
That's hilarious. Oh, by the way, I think sometimes people ask what models that you guys or contestants tend to use. Do you all? I see that you're both using Claude 4 Sonnet. Do you all always use that? Oh, I think John mentioned sometimes he uses Gemini.
I use Gemini sometimes because it has a lot more larger context. It can go on for a lot longer, and especially with spreadsheets and stuff, that takes up a lot of tokens. And if I use Claude 3.5 or 4 for like making sense out of spreadsheets and documents, I have to do so many sessions and summarize in between. But Claude can go on or Gemini can go on almost forever with the spreadsheets and still stay on the thread.
Cool. Wait, so we may not get to see your finalized. So we saw what you had where it was like spooky red light, green light with different languages. So people vote which one that you will enjoy playing, I guess. You have spooky red light, green light for Sweden, Germany, and Japan. And then we also had Russian red light, green light, where it says the sea is, what was it? Sea is
sick, I think, yeah.
The sea is sick. And you basically have to move through that.
It's not, but I poor translation, but it's okay. Let's go on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Let's pretend it said the C is sick. That's okay. I have no clue. I don't know Russian. So, who go ahead and vote in the comments which one you enjoyed the best or laughed the hardest at and thought was the most chaotic. Okay. We may move on to a new one. And I think I would suggest maybe because we did so many prompting, maybe make a new session just so you can start with a fresh new context. And I hope this one isn't hard too, but I hope it's fun for you all. So my next one is I was gonna say have Goose. Wait, let me make sure you guys are ready. Are you guys ready? Okay, cool. Have Goose make up a fake language and build a bootleg Duolingo app.
Oof.
But it doesn't have to be full-fledged. It could just be like a few quizzes or something like that. Just something that can happen within the, let's see, what time is it? 1:30. I think we can do a 9-minute time frame for this. Okay, let's go. Who did I start with last time? I think I started with Darren, so I'm gonna start with John.
Yeah. So again, I went to ChatGPT. So, and I'm just gonna start copying this, and I'm trying a different approach here, and I feel like it does fairly well by getting all the information at a time. If I like double space it, understands
Interesting.
that it is separate. Create a fake to, let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, Goose is pretty good at one-shot prompting.
So this, I'm supposed to just gonna have voice and sound, and then we're gonna have a mascot with a confused capybara. And I'm gonna skip the optional absurd enhancements for now.
Okay, let's see. I'm excited to see what comes out of this.
So I don't know, I kind of skipped the summary prompt. I just gave it all the information, what to do. But let's see.
Interesting. And someone, Tanya mentioned that like double spaces have helped her a lot with Goose too. That's interesting. I've never thought of that as a strategy. I guess that does help Goose notice like, okay, do this and then do this. Like, is that interesting? Maybe I should start doing that now. Oh my God. And you had it use React and V. Is there any reason?
Yeah, I don't even know what Vite is. That's funny, right? But like,
yeah, because I was like, oh, he must have had a strategy of why he used V. And you're like, I'm just going with the flow.
But the thing is, sometimes when you use those, I need to like get the dependencies and the requirements. Like I learned that with Python, I had to download a whole bunch of things and be set up for working with Python. So I don't know if it's the same for these, but
yeah,
we shall see.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to get some of the dependencies now. It's trying, especially for Tailwind. Let's see what happens. If it falls back on something, that could be cool too. And yeah, it's very interesting to see, maybe you don't have like what have you learned from using Goose with Python and getting all those dependencies and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, I've learned that it needs these packages. It needs, and I kind of like I get a better understanding of how it works and what the components are, and what UV and UVX does, and also like for the Java as well. So I mean, I see it as like I'm constantly learning.
Yes. Yeah, I like that because a lot of people tell me they're like, oh no, using like AI to code can like reduce people's learning experience. But I'm like, I think exposes them to new things that they're like, oh, I didn't know like you could do this. Like if you're paying attention to whatever the AI agent is creating.
Yeah, so right now I have it at like completely autonomous, but I could change the mode so it can like ask me, it can explain exactly what it's going to do, and then I can approve or reject it. But I feel like this is working pretty good.
Yeah.
And if I want to like go in here and see what this actually looks like, I can see that. And I mean, I understand the basics, but sometimes I feel like I don't need to go too deep, and maybe for my purposes it's better to like focus on the high level concept.
Yeah, you're like, just get it done, Goose.
Yeah.
you don't need to know the details. Oh yeah, I'm gonna stop by Darron to see his strategy and how he's going with it now.
Hey. So I was just sort of in the background listening to what John was saying, and I wasn't clocking most of it, but I think we're taking very radically different approaches here. So here's where I am. I just told Goose, create a fake language. Give me a short alphabet, 500 words related to baking, school, and home. It did that. You can see it over here. This is actually pretty interesting and cool. It's just a 20-letter alphabet. And then it lists them out here and gives you some basic grammar rules, which is kind of cool. This is actually very similar to a project I did in my linguistics course way back in college. So it's super interesting to see Goose do something in about 5 seconds that took me like a whole semester.
If only you had Goose then.
Sorry?
I said, if only you had Goose then.
Right. Yeah, it would have been cool. But here we are. We've got the baking terms, we've got the school terms, and we've got the home terms, kitchen items, food ingredients, school subjects, right? So like all these different things that we can draw upon now. And it even has some example sentences like I bake bread and so forth. What Goose is working on right now is not that. It is this prompt that, I mean, I just spoke to it like I would speak to somebody who was going to, do something amazing for me, and in as much shorthand as possible. So, use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, create a language tutorial for those 3 categories, right? Baking, school, home. And make it between English and Zephyrian, which is the made-up language that it named by itself. And then I reference the language guide. And then I just kind of say, like, make each tutorial independent, make sure that they're all accessible through a homepage, and then put a little quiz at the end of each of them. So we'll see. I just saw something come through here, but I just saw that move, but I don't yet have output from
Goose.
Yeah.
It's interesting the different approaches you all took, because he kind of just did like a one-shot prompt and he's like, get everything done. But you were like, let me break this up into little pieces. So that's interesting.
Yeah, and here maybe this is it.
I think that is.
Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see how well it did here. You notice I say how well it did and not how well I did.
Yeah,
I need no credit and I need no criticism. Okay, so learn Zephyrian, master the basics of cooking, school, and home vocabulary, baking vocabulary. All right, let's start learning. So this is great. That's interesting, actually. Okay.
Cool.
I'm not sure.
There's no quiz yet.
No quiz. We're just learning. Okay. Well, I can figure out perhaps how to add some quizzes onto there. We've got the basic shell though, so I'll try to get some quiz on there.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go to John while you do that then.
Great.
We're back. And
we're back. Yeah. So I have a Blorbish language with like I know that I might order a Blorplex later. That's Blorbish for pizza. Blorbin is a cat. Blorbo is a goat. So we have the language, and then it made a mascot, which and it also has, yeah, so here's the mascot. It can you can interact with the mascot. It can be sad, happy, encouraging. And right now it's working on the lesson component here, and I'm tempted to stop it and tell it to just show me a proof of concept right now, because I'm not sure how long. I didn't really prompt it. Yeah, main app component and other pages is coming up now. So it's doing all those dependencies, and it's about to install a React server, router, and start the development server. So we shall see. How much more time do I have on this one?
We have 1 more minute. Also, I think you have a little bit of background noise that
I do. I'm going to mute myself.
Okay, sorry. No worry. I was just thinking it's competing with your own voice. But this is actually really cool. I'm excited to see what comes out of it. Let's see. Let's see what the chat says as well. We had someone in the comments say, "I see it like the advent of the calculator. Can more focus on more important stuff than long arithmetic?" Yeah, I think so too. We don't need to write out 2 + 2 or 1,500 times 1,200, whatever. The calculator could do it for us. I'm excited to see what comes out of this for both of you. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my son found the electric guitar and playing Jimi Hendrix.
That's okay. I figured. It's okay. My baby's always crying in the background. And I'm like, oh gosh, I bet everyone can hear it. For her. Okay.
Sometimes it's working, and you feel like nothing is happening, and then it's like, boom, I got it done, and here it is.
Yeah. And then it pops out with something amazing. That's why I'm like, let's wait. It looks like actually it's running it on localhost 5173 for you.
Let's see.
Oh, a little bit of errors. You can give it the error until it fixes this, Goose. I'll give you guys some extra time for this because I'm curious. While you do that, I'll pop over to Darron. Hello.
Hey, so I'll show you what I've got here. I rephrased, right? So once the student views the vocabulary page, add a quiz that requires the student to match the vocabulary items. So Goose is like, yeah, I'll do that. And here's something you can look at. Here are all the styles, and this baking tutorial tells me all the great things that it did to make this thing work. But when I go to the baking tutorial,
dun dun dun,
it's just the vocab page.
Interesting.
So I don't really know.
What if you tell it? What if you tell Goose? It seems like the baking tutorial didn't turn into that.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys extra time for this because I want to see what Johns comes out with. And there's room.
Maybe I'll call it a matching game instead of a quiz.
Yeah. Tell it like it didn't lead me to the quiz. Like you're like, I just see basic vocab. Even when you click start learning, is that still the same page, the same baking tutorial page that it leads me to?
Yeah, so it's
missing JavaScript maybe.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's look at the code.
Okay. So how would you recommend doing that? I am not.
I just realized you don't have IDEs. We can look at it in text edit. That might be that might okay.
Oh no, that didn't work.
Oh.
That's not, here, let's see if we can do it here.
Yeah.
All right, this will
Okay,
work.
X code. Let's scroll down and Zephyrian. Oh, so it does have script. It does have a JavaScript here. Can you scroll down a little bit more? Oh, that's weird.
So it's mapped them.
Yeah, it gave us an array.
Shuffle that. Yeah, that's fine.
And things are, oh, I wonder if when you, oh wait, when you click start learning, on one of these, you can open up like an inspect tool if you click like right click. So click start learning first. Yeah. And then click start learning. And I wonder if like any errors pop up in here. Oh, there it is. Or not.
Oh, hey.
Yeah. Okay. We didn't even do anything.
What happened? That's so strange.
Okay. When you click them again, it doesn't.
Yeah.
If you click table, it didn't change anything. Oh, Command Shift. It's cached. Just reload it. That's what best code's saying.
Like this.
Yeah.
Sorry, now I've got tons of things open. I'm not sure which one. Okay, look. If I go to this and I'm doing Command Shift and then I'm hitting the refresh, right?
Yeah.
Reload this page.
Oh, sorry. I think he was saying Command Shift I for inspect.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I'm doing things I don't know.
That's okay. We have something working when you had the inspect element showing.
Yeah, so I can probably troubleshoot from here and figure out.
We can count that as it working for you. We can count that as it working. I was thinking it would give us an error, but that's cool.
Okay, so I mean it's working, right?
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I'm gonna visit John. I know he's stuck on a tailwind issue, which those aren't easy for me either. So let's see where he's at.
So Goose is also stuck on it. I feel it's been hasn't really given me any information in like 4 minutes, which is kind of indication that it's stuck in an infinite loop of something. So I'm gonna stop it, and I'm gonna remove this, and I'm gonna give it a screenshot instead, and say there was an error.
If it still spins, I think maybe create a new Goose session and tell it to kill port 5173. I feel like this happens to me sometimes when it runs a project for me. It struggles to continue coding or continue on that same project because it's using so much energy. But yeah, go ahead and create a new session and then say like just like outside of this and tell it kill localhost 5173, and then you can go back into this session, I think. Yeah. Hopefully that does it for you. Okay. I want to know from you guys. Or I'll bring Darron in too, just to check. Do you guys want to continue on this challenge within the 10 minutes we have left, or do you want to try another challenge? Either one. If you're like feeling like I want to figure this out, or you're like, get me out of this one. I hate it.
I wouldn't mind seeing my Duolingo being completed, but I'm also happy to pivot whatever you prefer.
I'm okay. I'm okay to wait. I now have a working assessment, but I have no original vocabulary table, so I'm trying to figure out how to get both of those.
Okay.
So I could work on it a little longer.
Okay, we could probably spend the next 10 minutes just making this Duolingo app and then seeing how cool both of y'all's come out. All right, I'll go to John again.
So I summarized my previous session. We killed that port, and now in this new session, I'm picking it up again. And Goose loves it, and it plugs it in again, and it's running with this error. So I'm going to stop it again and give it the screenshot this time.
Okay, let's see. It loves to run the project. We just told it to kill it, and then it ran it again. Oh, tell people about while we're waiting, any reason why you use the summarize feature, or what situations do you tend to use it in?
So I use the summarize feature typically when Goose gets stuck or I run out of tokens in this context window here, and I feel like when it's nearing its limit, maybe around like 150k, it starts making weird decisions. So it's time to like summarize and start fresh, and it makes a really good summary. Whereas if I haven't saved everything to memory or kept a good log of what I'm doing, the summarize feature works really good to pick up where I left off.
I use it for that same reason too. I like it. I'm like, it makes it so much easier to just continue the conversation and continue that context without going over the context limit. I wonder if maybe, yeah, kill it again. I wonder if you can redo this, but maybe in like just use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript rather than like React and stuff. I don't know. I feel like Goose is like trying to do too much with the dependencies. This is controversial for developers, but I don't like Tailwind. Most developers like Tailwind, so I have a little bias that Tailwind gives me a headache, and I just like regular CSS. So I don't know if you want to, yeah, just take that out and make it easier for yourself. Let's see what happens. And Tanya said she loves seeing people troubleshoot live. Me too. I think this is really great. Like usually people are like, is this Goose thing really working so well for you all? Or they want to know like, how do you get around the problems? For AI week, I had to vibe code, and I was like stressed because I'm like, nothing's working how I practiced. But I was surprised that people said that that's what they liked. So that was cool. So sorry. What's your new strategy now? You took out Tailwind, and now we're just doing build a bootleg Duolingo. Nice. Cool. Let's see the chat. Best Code says, I like Tailwind, but AI is bad at it. Oh, because it installs v4 without knowing, and then
I still have I'm still working on the red light, green light as well. I don't know.
Oh, Goose is probably like, you got a lot of stuff running.
Yeah, that's pretty typical for me. I end up during a day, I can end up with like a lot of windows. I don't know what that says about me, but towards the end, I have some good outputs.
No judgment. I think that means you're a genius vibe coder. I tend to have I always have a lot of Goose windows open. No wonder Goose struggles with Tailwind. I didn't know that it will try, or AI tries to do v4. Ah, okay. That makes sense. I think this time we're getting somewhere. Come on. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go see what Darron's added as we've been gone. All right. Hey.
All right. So all of these assessments are now working, right? So my family lives in a big house. You have some options. I cook dinner in the kitchen. I don't know. I haven't. Hey, all right. Oh, I don't even know if that's.
Oh, does it wait till you submit it?
Yeah, let's see.
It's still working on. Oh,
Okay,
it told you.
okay.
Yeah.
Did I really get? Let's see if that happens. If it changes. No, something's not right. Something's not right. But what I've got Goose working on right now is just creating another page that's linked to the home page, which is like a repository of terms, so somebody could actually go through and study before they try to take any of the quizzes. So what I had anticipated was you'd look at school terms and then you would take the assessment for school and then the next category and the next category. But it doesn't look like it's going to work out that way for me this time.
That's okay. Goose interpreted it differently. Hey,
Let's see.
Angie. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna talk to people in the chat. I was just catching Angie up. We're making bootleg Duolingo with a fake language right now. So that's what's happening. And then somebody else said, I've heard models have difficulty with anything that's newer than what they've trained on. Yeah, that does happen because they don't have that in their training data, so they're just sometimes hallucinating the situation. Oh wow. Oh, you got one right.
Hey, I'm speaking Zephyrian now. Guess some of them.
And how did you get out of that issue that we were seeing earlier where
it just, I think it was a cache issue. It just needed to actually refresh, and it just took a little time.
Okay, cool. All right, let me go check on. Oh yes, the Context 7 MCP server that is really good at pulling in the correct information. That's a good tip. I am going to go to John, see how he's doing. Feet might be giving you trouble.
This is something I run in quite frequently. Is I start something and then I start it over again, but instead of repurposing what I already had, I do it from scratch again, and I don't know if that's better or not, but it seems like it could have repurposed a lot of the components that I had already built previously instead of making them from scratch again. But
that's okay. I feel like this one's working better.
But I think it's almost there.
Yeah, I think this one's moving forward. Whereas last time it got stuck on Tailwind. I'm gonna put that energy into the air, the good energy. Cool. How are you? What are your thoughts? How will you have what in hindsight? How will you have like maybe changed the approach before?
Start smaller.
Okay. It was hard. It was a hard decision.
I'm like trying to make it do the whole comprehensive thing right at once. Maybe do a phased approach.
Yeah, you never know. We never know what Goose or what the demo gods have decided for.
Demo gods, yeah. I'm all for a live demo though, always.
Me too.
Darron knows.
I think there's so much learning through that. I'm curious. Maybe it put something on an HTML page that we can see at least. I wonder if you go to. You don't have to stop it, but if you go in your Finder or something like that and find one of the HTML files that is created. Or maybe if you scroll up to the top. Oh yeah, there we go.
It's not showing anything there.
Nothing. Boo. Okay. I was just being impatient. Let's see. And this could be like in that one of our last Goose offs where like I had them remake Goose, which was kind of crazy, but it wasn't until the last minute that like something awesome came out. Let's see. I'll go back to Darron for now while Goose is thinking for you. Let's see. Be right back.
Hey, so really all I've done is made sure I just created better space for these. So I just wanted them to either sit 2 in a row or 4 in a row, and not have 3 and then 1 orphan, which I know with responsive design, that's always
Oh, wow.
a consideration, but like it was a very simple thing that Goose did quite elegantly and quickly. We saw the dictionary last time though, right? I think that we already saw that.
Yeah, but it looks different.
We can try this really quickly. Like, is there couch on there? Or family was in there? Well, let's see. Just
Do the categories work?
Just kills everything. That's interesting. What if we? Yeah, let me check.
Oh, sugar worked.
It worked. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just stuff that I was asking for, stuff that's not in the turn base. So that's cool. Oh, and this just just scrolls down. Nice.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then these remember, they have like a caching issue, some of these, so they're not working perfectly, but they're supposed to look something like that. And they definitely do look like this, where they've cached better.
I think this has come out pretty awesome so far.
Yeah, I'm happy. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
If only it had some real world application instead of Zephyrian, we might get something out of this.
All right, let's stop by John. I know we're reached at 2:00. So, hey, John, Goose is still thinking?
Goose is still thinking. I don't know. I kind of paused it and said, hey, can we get a preview HTML? No need for the full app.
Okay.
And it's thinking about that. Goose is working on it and saying he's doing it now. So
let's get it.
It's about to give me a taste. Let's see if it's there yet. Let's see. Oh yeah. Duolingo. Learn Blorbage, the most beautifully confusing language. So this is just like mock data now, I suppose. I've been confused for 47 days. That sounds about right. And it does give me some sound. I don't know if you can hear it.
We can't hear it. What is the sound saying?
Yeah, here's a sample lesson. How do you say hello in Blorbage?
Oh, that's cute. I love it.
Chaotic facts about Blorbage. It was invented by a confused parrot named Professor Blorbert. There are 47 different ways to say confused in Blorbage. And then Blorbage grammar rules change every Tuesday. So, but coming soon, the full Duolingo app is a complete lesson system with experience points and full chaotic audio pronunciation and leaderboards, fake leaderboards, an animated mascot, and advanced chaos theory lessons.
Oh my God, I think this is cute. It came out really great. What do you think?
Yes. I wish it was more complete, but pizza is more pizza. Yeah. I thought it was a Blorplex from what I saw before, but
that's okay. That was great. And I think since these are like little prototypes, it's okay. They're like little MVPs just for fun. I think yours came out really, really silly and fun, and then Darron had like a fun, like
I like Darron's a lot.
Sure. I like both. People in the chat, please let us know like your thoughts on the results. As we're reaching the end, do you all have any tips for people in the audience on using Goose or vibe coding? What's your thoughts?
I mean, I can share mine. I think I am not a developer. I am forced then to speak in natural language when I'm asking Goose to do something for me. And that, I mean, you were able to see sort of throughout the last hour how well or not well that works for me. But actually it does quite well, given the natural language limited parameters that I put in there.
Yeah, no, I think if you're not sure, just ask Goose what it could do for you. Tell Goose about yourself, what you want to achieve, or perhaps just like a rough idea, and you'll be surprised with how it kind of gets you right away. And if you want a lesson of some sort, ask Goose to create you a lesson, and then just go from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea to have Goose create you a lesson and kind of like walk you through learning stuff. I use Goose for so much, even non-engineering things like you all were mentioning. Like sometimes I even ask Goose to help me to make my Slack messages shorter because I tend to like have like a long over communicated message, and I'm like, Goose, how will I say this in like a short, concise way that gets to the point? And like Goose usually helps with that. Tanya says simple natural language works. Sometimes I have a session where I word dump when I'm overthinking. Yeah. Thank you so much for being on the Goose Off. I think you all were amazing contestants. I learned so much. Like I didn't like just you all having like so different like approaches to using Goose. I always learn from different people. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about using Gemini just because it has like a longer context window and all of that. Or just going in and saying, oh, here's, I want to do like a big one-shot prompt, or I want to break it up into little pieces. So that was really awesome. And also thank you to the audience for staying engaged and asking questions and cheering everyone on. I'll see you all in 2 weeks for the next Great Goose Off. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.